Okay, there's always that pause where you're like, am I live? Welcome to my home. If you're new here, my name is Karen. In yesterday's video, I said I was going to go live at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then there was a moment where I was like, ooh, I don't know if this is going to happen. But every time it doesn't happen, then I get somebody who will say that they were here and I wasn't here. So what do I want to talk about today? What I want to talk about today is getting started with decluttering. And I'd like to do a brain dump of everything I ever learned about decluttering and anything you learned about decluttering. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Allie. Okay, so the besties are in the house. Oh, Minimal Zebra, Joe is here. Hi, friend. I'm here for you, she says. Hi, Joe. I'm glad you're here. Micah. Is it Micah? Misha? Hello, if I'm saying your name wrong, I sincerely apologize. So as people are coming in, I thought, okay, first of all, I'll do a little update. Hi, Em. Did I mention in yesterday's video? Maybe not, because when would I have filmed it? Oh, but I did the voiceover yesterday. I kind of threw up my back 2 days ago when I did the deck clean out. I think that's it anyway. Misha. Give me a thumbs up or tell me I'm right. That's a beautiful name, by the way. When I was getting the pots off the deck, I think that's what I did. I just woke up. I was fine that day. I woke up yesterday and I'm like, ooh. And then it just was getting worse through the day. If you have herniated discs in your back, you understand what I'm talking about right now. So I feel like I'm starting to come around. Hi, Carrie. Carrie says, love your videos so much, like visiting with a dear friend. Oh, and Misha, glad I got your name right. I'm so glad you're here, Carrie. I just was thinking, like, who is having company for the holidays? Do you feel like you have to declutter before company comes? And how stressful is that? Sue Rogers is here. Hey, girl, have a great day. You have a great day too, Sue. And Tracy Morse is here. Hello from New Hampshire. Well, hello, neighbor. I actually grew up on the Maine-New Hampshire border. Muffin Man, is this a fitness channel? No, I'm afraid not. You are in the wrong spot if you think this is a fitness channel. I hate exercise. Anyway, so yeah, do you feel a need for decluttering? And I'm thinking, let's brainstorm together since, hi, Edie. I'm so glad you're here. Let's brainstorm a little bit together on how to get somebody started with decluttering. Now, one of the weird things I did that you would know if you were here for a long, long time is my delayed decisions went down the stairs into the basement, right? Hello, Pramod, if that's how you say it. Chandra, who are you? Okay, I'm getting a little, some stranger comments. So if you see something that's a little out of left field, just kind of ignore it. I don't have a moderator. Add as moderator, channel activity, put user in timeout. Okay. So we are going to talk about decluttering. Just give me a second here. Just kind of remove a couple of things that are not appropriate. So Joe says, the people I live with are decluttering. I'll be traveling to visit a friend for the holidays. Okay. So what I did was I kind of took my stuff and it ended up going down the stairs into the basement. And I wanted to talk about how I don't completely regret that. What I wish I would have done is maybe even labeled some of that stuff. At the time, I feel like it was the best I could do. Like if I had company coming and I had a room that's just full of stuff, like full of it, I probably would get some boxes as though I were, if I could afford Rubbermaid, I would do Rubbermaid. I would do clear so that you can see through them. And I would try to label as best I could what, whatever was in, for what was in the box for when I come, back to it. But I don't 100% regret what I did. I just wish I would have labeled things so that when they went down the stairs, then when I went back years later, I would at least have known where it was. Lisa Cullum, hello. And I'm just hoping I don't remove the wrong people here. So I don't think it's entirely inappropriate to be, whoops, you deleted message. Sorry. This is the first time that's ever happened to me. Yes, labels for help for things you don't access regularly. That is actually true. I just need to block somebody here. Hide user from channel. When I hide a user, that means they can just, let's see, they can message to their heart's content. Ain't nobody gonna see it. Okay. I gotta ignore it, I just gotta ignore it. My goodness. So also, it's not a bad thing if company is coming and you don't have time to declutter, to be putting it in a box, labeling it if you can, and putting it in storage if you have storage, whether that would be in an attic, in a basement, in a garage, if you could find a spot. I don't think that would be a bad thing. And if you have the time, of course, to go through things, now let's talk about that. So if you have to move stuff out of the way, move it out of the way, and hopefully you will find a time to go back to it once your company is gone and to start truly decluttering. But sometimes it is just necessary to get the stuff out of the way so that your company can come and you can have some peace of mind. Once you start decluttering, then, and Misha is saying that labeling is the key to success. And it's so true. And oh my goodness, in the beginning, I wasn't really, even if I was decluttering and putting things in a box, I wasn't labeling it. And I definitely had that as a regret. I had to go back and label things. And still, some of you are saying label my shelves, which wouldn't be a bad idea. I think that it would help people to put things away. To be honest, would they go down the stairs and put things away? Not necessarily. Yes, and you can write on tape if you don't need a label maker. Like masking tape would be really good for that as well. Now, when you start the decluttering process, if you have time to declutter, I definitely think I am a proponent of the trash first, no-brainer stuff second, and then you start getting into the harder stuff. And I think that we talk a lot about delayed decisions, but it's okay to delay decisions if it's stopping you. And then stop, box, label. Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, box, and label. Move it aside and keep going. When you're in like a basement or an attic type of situation, you could do all the trash in the basement, attic, garage, wherever, then go back and do all the no-brainer stuff. But if you don't really have that luxury, let's say it was a living room, a kitchen, I would always suggest I wouldn't go through the whole room and do all the trash necessarily if it's real bad. I would probably pick a spot and declutter the whole thing if it were me, and then I would start boxing up the things we were going to keep, even if that meant we had to go back and reorganize it, because you do kind of have to get rid of trash before you can organize. So let me know, what would you suggest? Do you have friends, family who need to declutter, who have asked for your advice? What are the things that you have suggested to them? But I do always think, pick a spot. If it's in a room and you're not going to be clearing the room, pick a spot, get out and be prepared. Have the garbage bag for trash, have the boxes. You need boxes. Cardboard boxes are great for going to Goodwill. They're not the ideal for storage, which is what I learned from you guys, because there are some areas of the country where you're going to end up with the potential of getting insects in your cardboard boxes. I've never seen that in mine. And of course, they're not weather safe, as they can get moisture and wetness in them. But, we always talk about what are you going to throw away? What are you going to keep? What are you going to donate? What are you going to sell? So if you're one to sell, I'm really not, because I stink at it. If you're one to sell, that would be a separate category as well. Misha says, everyone is so different when I've helped them to declutter. And that is so true as well. Hiding more dumb comments. Isn't that weird? I guess I'm going to have to get a moderator for next time. Having boxes and bags for donations and trash helps, is what Joe is saying, which I think is really good advice. Oh, Allie, okay, hang on. Add as a moderator. Can manage blocked words, change chat select. I'm going to put you as, I don't know. I put you as a managing moderator. If there's something you can't do, tell me and I'll switch it. So, Allie, you are now a moderator. Woo! Hello! The devil is alive and coming to my channel. Anyway, yeah, I definitely think choosing spots is a good idea. I think we always talk about choosing a certain segment of time. Don't just, choosing a certain segment of time, setting a timer, and doing it for that amount of time. And then if it needs to be to keep you motivated, is setting when the next time is that you would want to declutter. The concern I have, and there's a lot of decluttering going on YouTube right now, people decluttering toys, clothes, because there's more stuff going to be coming into the holidays. So if you're someone, hi Angela, if you are someone who has decluttered in the past and has kind of kept up with the decluttering, I think now is a great time to declutter, because new things are going to be coming in the home. If you've never decluttered before and you're watching channels about decluttering, I think it is important to maybe give yourself a pass and let it be a New Year's resolution or something that you begin in the new year. My concern for someone who's never decluttered before is if you have children or grandchildren, people that you need to buy for Christmas, or if you're traveling, or if you're having people over, it's just going to be so overwhelming for you to be putting a lot of pressure on yourself to be decluttering too. Does that make sense? Unless you really have an area that needs to be cleared out. But definitely scheduling time, definitely having a timer and scheduling when your next time would be is something that is so important to you. So are you decluttering for the holidays? Let me know. I would love to know if you are decluttering right now. Thank you, Allie, so much for being our moderator. And I would definitely say, Allie, don't be afraid to offend anyone. When in doubt, block them out. And then if they are a friend, I'll apologize and I'll make sure that it doesn't happen on the next live. But I would rather block someone because I want this to be a safe place. Oh, yes, 2020. Yes, so Catherine is talking about one of the videos, or a few videos I've done. I would do 20 minutes doing one thing, and then I would go to something else 20 minutes and something else 20 minutes. So maybe it would be a certain area of my storage that I was decluttering. And then, maybe I was decluttering photos. I would do my photos for 20 minutes. Maybe I would do kitchen supplies for 20 minutes. And it was all within my basement, but it helped me to keep my focus when I was hitting different spots. Hi, Jeanette. How are you? Minimalist Road. I'm so glad you're here. Misha says, no, I'm done decluttering. I now use the 1 in, 1 out rule. So, start mentioning rules that you guys have heard of. Angela gave me a super chat. Thank you so much, Angela. That's so sweet and generous of you. I really appreciate it. M says, I need to organize my art room, so that will include decluttering too. I'm not looking forward to it. M, I wish I could join you. I wish I could help you. So the 2020 rule is great when you lose focus and you get bored, so you can just go to something else for the next 20 minutes, deciding what to keep. You remember that who is it that she has written books, and anyway, she says you can limit yourself to the space you have. So if you have a shelf that you've dedicated to kitchen things, once you've filled that shelf, now you have to decide what you're getting rid of. You could have a box of sentimental items, and then what fits in that box is what stays, and then you have to make some tough decisions. Angela says, I hate they take some, but it is what it is. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Joe says, yes, getting stuff out if you bring stuff in is maintenance decluttering for those of us who have finished major decluttering. Yes. So, Allie, you're getting on it fast. Thank you. Yes. So like, for example, I think a closet is a great example of that, like a clothes closet. You buy a new sweater. What sweater are we getting rid of? Unless you're someone who doesn't have enough clothes. And of course, you wouldn't want to do the 1 in, 1 out rule. I think 1 in, 1 out is a great method for children for bringing in toys. And one thing that really helps kids is if they know that their donated toys or clothing is going to go to a child in need, I think it really helps them. Lisa says, I'm still deep in the decluttering, but I am starting to see progress. I've started to do some Swedish death cleaning, and I feel it feels good to give cherished items to the next generations. Dana K. White, yes, that's who has the limit yourself by space. Emily, you, hello. Lisa says, I'm still, okay, yeah, I read that. Yep, Dana K. White. Angela says, oh, I meant when subs donate, YouTube takes some. Yeah, that probably is true. But I think I still get a good amount there. I'm not quite sure how that works. I'll have to look into it, Angela. Joe says, true, Karen, I use the container method. Life season and amount of space determines what I keep. And that, I think we all do that to a certain degree because your house is only so big. So, at some point you have to decide, is this really worth the real estate that it takes up? Paula's own pace. I have always felt would I want my family to deal with all my things, especially sentimental items, if I were gone? Helped me to declutter better. Absolutely. That was really what got me serious. The idea of Swedish death cleaning and not wanting my kids to have to deal with all of those decluttered things or decluttering my things for me when I was gone is definitely something that really motivated me. Lisa says, right now I have to do the 1 in and 10 out rule. That's a good rule too. And maybe for all of us, we have to decide how many things are going out. I just think that I know in the United States, and not everyone on here is from the United States, but as soon as you are pushing it out the front door, it is coming in the back. There are just so many possessions that we have. Misha says, I definitely did the 10 out rule at one point, Lisa. I think also is knowing what your organization style is. Do you like things to be hidden? Do you like them to be out? And I think if you like things to be out, you only have so many surfaces that you can put your things out, and then when they're full, they're full. Or do you like for me, I have a hard time with visual clutter. I have a hard time thinking straight if there's even a lot of things on the wall. And so I have to really limit myself in what I have for decor. So I think, what do you think is the hardest thing to declutter? We tend to think of sentimental items. So sentimental items can be hard. I personally think that after sentimental items, or sometimes before, if it's a sentimental item that's like my mom and, she's passed, that was super hard for me. But hoarder's heart, yes, important to do the emotional work. Asking why I'm feeling attached and processing it lets me identify if my feelings are good to keep around or no. Misha says, I'm a cricket. I like things hidden and put away. I am too. Flips for fun. Paper. Yes, paper is super hard. Paula's own page. Hi, from Ontario, Canada. M says, my stuff went to my garage and I didn't donate it yet. That was 4 years ago. Haha, oops. And Minimal Zebra says, she is a cricket. Misha says, I'm not sentimental, but I love my shoes. See, we all have something. So I think one thing that was even harder for me, has been harder for me than sentimental items is gifts. If somebody gives me a gift, I have a really hard time letting it go. I just feel very guilty about it. And that's been something I just have had to get over. Angela says, clothes. I have to keep a couple sizes. Either lupus likes to cause weight loss or steroids make me gain again. Oh, absolutely. Jeanette says, I use the pretend to move rule. If I'm to move and downsize, would I bring this? That's where I am right now. I am not moving, but this helps me. Lisa says, when my mother-in-law passed away, it was such a job emptying her home, and it was a motivator to really start paring down my possessions. I don't want to leave that burden to loved ones. And so I did a certain amount of decluttering with that in mind. And then after that, it's now, what if we were to move? Would we keep it or would we get rid of it? Emily Yu says, I learned from Cass with Clutterbug. I have realized bitter feelings are bullies and need to be removed, even if there is a memory attached for my future mental health. So true. You know, it's kind of like when we've talked about before when we have done our closets. You don't want your clothes to bully you. You don't want your clothes to say that you're too big or you're too small. That the clothing is like, it's like the clothing is in the right. And if our body doesn't match the clothing, we're the ones in the wrong. That is so bad. I do have to, having said that, I have to say I decluttered so many clothes as I was getting smaller, and now I've gained some weight back. So I am not getting rid of my small clothes because I am really hoping to get back to them. But I am removing them from my closet and packing them so that they're not kind of sitting there speaking to me. Student life decluttered 80% of my clothes at 14 and 15 and haven't gone back. That's awesome. So good to get that going when you're young. Angela says, yes, guaranteed, always a peaceful, calm vibe. Okay, thank you. Misha, yes, losing my mom in 2020. Oh, I lost my mom in 2022. Was my big motivated to declutter. I never want to leave the mess to my kids and have them deal with that. Yes. Joe says, I'm not attached to clothing. Michelle Bell, hi, how are you? Pretending I'm moving is something I've used. Also, it's okay to throw it away. The town giving page is a great one as well because it helps items get to someone who really wants it. Hi, Deborah, how are you? Yeah, and even at our dump and at some of the stores in the area, they have a bin for clothes and shoes. So I've definitely used that. I've definitely used Goodwill a ton. That's pretty much my go-to is Goodwill. And I don't donate things that are damaged with holes in them or that sort of thing. One of the things we're struggling with decluttering right now is furniture. So we have extra furniture in the basement that you might have seen. And decluttering furniture because it's a big ticket item has been a tough one. Carrie says, I just did the same thing, Karen. I put my clothes for later in a large bin to store. Yeah, you will see that in an upcoming video. I almost filmed it today. Actually, Yvonne has my camera right now. She's downstairs cleaning her room, and she is filming that for me. Rebecca said Salvation Army. Yes, true. My Salvation Army is about an hour away. Prashi, is that your name? I don't have one favorite YouTuber. I actually have many. Kimmy Cope, Michelle from My Everyday Wife Life, D of D Lovely Life. Oh goodness. Wait, I'm thinking. I'm going blank. That's what happens. You guys could probably tell me who my favorites are. I definitely use the pretend to move and downsize as a technique to look at my stuff with different eyes. Yes, Yvonne is a sweetheart. Jody Dunn, thank you, Rebecca. That's who I was just thinking of because I was just watching Jody cleaning her bathroom before I stepped onto this live. Catherine tweets, hello, we are planning to move, but I struggle because I don't know how much space I will have in my new home or my new container. Alicia, I've worked hard on limiting purchasing and consumption. It's a huge help. Yeah, it definitely begins in the store of not buying the thing to begin with. Emily Yu, I run a youth group, so I have a good notion of what items will be useful for there. And for fundraising, we do yard sales. Connecting to people helps to let go. Yes, and you know, maybe even if you have a town Facebook page, you can see if anyone is doing a fundraiser. We donated a lot of our stuff to someone who was adopting internationally, and they were able to sell it. Jody Dunn, the Wads. Yes. Michelle, Kimmy, Cope are the ones you talk about. Yep. I mean, when Kimmy, oh yeah, the Wads. Oh yeah, my husband knows. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. 6 o'clock in the morning, I am watching Kimmy from the Watts. And it's funny because I went a while where I wasn't really watching her anymore. And now I'm like, what are you, crazy? I can't miss any of them. Jeanette, if I give a gift, I do it to make the person happy, not to clutter their house. I just decided others do it too. It's so true. Joe, Catherine, from my experience, you declutter, though for sure can go before a move and then declutter after a move. Just, yeah, that's so true. Deborah, for me, the hardest thing is to get things out of the house. Here in Spain, we don't have so many charity shops. Clothes are easy, other things aren't. I use Facebook Trash to treasure groups, free cycle. That would be very hard if I couldn't just throw it in the car and bring it to Goodwill. Wendy says hello from Wales. Well, hello, Wendy. You know, my husband's Twombly family, oops, there goes my last name, is also from Wales originally. Hello from Bangor, our Bangor, Maine analyst. Deborah says, we don't have garage sales either. Catherine says, thanks, Joe. Okay, so, you know, I just encourage you, wherever you're at, is to keep on trying. But my biggest concern, because it is the holidays, is what are ways that you can go, oh, yes, hello, analyst. So, hello, neighbor, you're from Bangor. What are ways that you can do this going gentle on yourself? That is always my concern, because I think we can see channels, even channels like mine, where, you know, even if I'm doing 20 minutes a day, if you don't have 20 minutes a day, then you can feel badly you don't have 20 minutes a day. Or if I did 10 minutes a day and you don't feel like, you got to do what you can do. And I hope that's something that you're taking away. Misha says, I only give consumables or items like lotion that can be used. I refuse to clutter up anyone's home anymore. Yeah, and you know, I always ask my daughter-in-law and my son for their ideas with their children, because, you know, if they need consumables or if they need something different than what I might, clothes, boots, then I want to do what they need, not filling the house. And I've always had a hard time buying for my kids once they hit college, because they're in this tiny dorm room. Analyst wants to know, how do you feel about dumpster diving? I dive all over Bangor and have gotten so much good stuff. I think that is awesome. If you can find good stuff, and you probably know right where to go. My husband does this at the dump, is that he has found computers and computer screens. They have a place at the dump where you put electronics. And so it's not dumpster diving per se, but we've definitely brought things home from the dump before. Michelle Bell says, I really like Mariella Marino is another channel I enjoy. She's really sweet, likes things simple. She's a minimalist. Her parents have a bit of hoarding, and she's helped them so much. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Michelle, we have recently moved, and I downsized a lot prior to the move, but still have more to release. Because I have been decluttering for a few years, I am now having to let go of more sentimental items. Brenda Montagne says, are you favorite YouTubers mostly for cleaning videos? I am mostly for declutter motivation, but willing to part with items. I do watch mostly cleaning videos, actually. I don't watch a ton. I might watch someone do a declutter, but I don't necessarily, I want to, in my fantasy self, wants to watch Minimalist Mom and More Clutterbug. And I tend not to, and I'm not quite sure why, because they have great channels and they have great advice. Misha, yes, my parents always bought items we needed or wanted. They even bought passes for experiences to use through the year, which is great. I think like for my grandkids, it'd be neat to do like a museum pass where you can do like for all of New England or something like that. I think that is a great idea. Buying experiences over items is super helpful, especially like, say, a movie night. That's a good idea. I need to think about that. That's another video or live we could do, is Christmas ideas for the people that you're buying that's not going to fill their house. Deborah says, Swedish death cleaning is interesting. Shannon Torren's channel is good. I love seeing her with her mom. I love seeing her with her mom. Yeah, that's what you said. Yes. Suitcase Designer. Now, Space Maker is a great declutter YouTube channel. My kids, Brenda says, my kids like a lot of my things. That helps. I wish I was at the cleaning stage. I don't watch the big declutter ones because I can't do the waste. I'm very careful about purchases. Yeah, and everybody just you have to know what motivates you and what is best for you. Yeah. My kids, so as I have asked them, as I'm decluttering, I see things I would pass down. I send out a text and I say, um, do you want this? If they say yes, it goes in a box with their name on it. So when I pass, they know this is your box. And I always tell them, if you change your mind, you don't want it, get rid of it. There's nothing like my dad, I have his guitar from when he was 18 years old, and I know who I'm giving it to. But if he decides he doesn't want it, I would suggest to him to ask his siblings if they want it, and if they don't, get rid of it. It's just a thing. It doesn't matter. But I at least have it so that if they, oh yeah, Allie is saying, ask the public library. They offer all kinds of museum passes for free. Zoo slash aquarium slash park passes are good too. Yeah, so I definitely want my kids to know that it's what's in their boxes up for them. And then then everything else, if there is anything else in the basement, which there certainly would be if it was today, they can just get rid of. Flips for fun. My name is Joanne. Hi, Joanne. I help my son who is a reseller. I don't work for money, but for trinkets, LOL, or fun. He sells on eBay, antique malls, flea markets. It's a great way to earn money. I wish I could do that, honestly. I don't know why I so stink at selling things. Jeanette says, I do not watch Minimal Mom and Clutterbug either. I like them, but I don't want tips. I want the company who chat. Yeah, that's how I am too. So then maybe that's why. Analyst says, I once asked my grandmother when she was alive, what do I do with your stuff? She said, throw it out. I don't care. I'll be dead. Amen. That's how I feel. So makes it easier for me to throw stuff out because of that. Yeah, I love that, she was releasing people. Rebecca, donating blanket sheets to animal shelters or books, movies, crafts to senior centers and places like that helps me declutter. And yeah, crafts, senior centers, crafts, or teachers, books, children's books, craft supplies, office supplies. That's awesome. Homeless shelters, toys, all the things. Yeah. Yeah. Where can I donate teapots? Ricky Bobby would like to know. So does anyone have an idea? Trying to declutter my mom's house. My parents were declutterers. Hi, Karen. I love the spelling of your name. And my dad was like, if you haven't used it in 2 years, it's going. That was his rule. Brenda says, I do one hard thing per session, then let myself off the hook. One hard thing are the things that I think are wasteful, so I get rid of the thing and forgive myself. That's my coping thing. I love that. Bigfoot said, donate the teapot to you said donate to old folks' homes, so I'm thinking you're thinking the teapots. Yeah, that's great advice. Antique shops is what Rebecca is saying to Ricky Bobby. I'm minimalist, so it hurts seeing clutter. And I think that, everybody has their own limit of how much clutter is too much clutter, I think. So for me, what I consider clutter might not be clutter to someone else, or what I consider not cluttered might still be cluttered to someone else. Em said, if I went by that rule, I'd have to throw out most of my belongings. Okay, so my dad's rule of getting rid of things you haven't used in 2 years. May I just say, he got rid of so many antiques. We had the original Barbie in the original cases, gone. My mother had an antique cradle, gone. And then when she ever found out what those Barbies were worth, that she got rid of at a garage sale for 10 cents, each one in its original, they had this like black suitcase thing that snapped. Oh my goodness. Emily, my church did a tea party with a bunch of old china sets. Oh yeah, I've been to those kind of tea parties. It's so fun. I have to say, I decluttered a box of china by mistake. It wasn't the one I lead tested. That was a different one. This was a rose one, and my girls had used it with my mom to have tea parties whenever she would come visit. And I still to this day do not remember getting rid of it, but it had to be me. It had to be. Rebecca said my mom had those Barbies and still do. Yeah, I think they're worth quite a bit of money, especially now with the Barbie movie that came out. I can imagine. So you'll have to let me know. Oh, Liz says if I donated craft items to a kindergarten teacher. That's a great idea. You'll have to let me know if you like these kind of lives. We're just kind of chit-chatting about decluttering and processing, and bring what you know. If you have watched those videos that some of us don't watch because we like the chatty stuff, or we like to watch someone declutter, you might have information that we don't know. Rebecca says, after your lead video, I got rid of my grandmother's set of china. My heart broke. I'm so sorry. I feel bad. Alicia says, suggestion for a parent who views everything as useful, so they won't part with anything even though they aren't using it. That's a hard one, because I don't know that you can obviously you can't make your parents declutter, right? Man, I just think encouraging them softly, gently, and then if they don't want to do it, then you just have to accept it, because I don't think that you can make somebody said they're enjoying the life. Thank you so much. It's going a little fast for me, the comments. My sister, God rest her soul, stole my entire inheritance, but I try to make it into a positive. I don't have to declutter. Oh, I'm Allie. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Bigfoot said kids should cherish their parents' or grandparents' antiques, unique ones. They definitely don't deserve the cheap garage sales. That's a tough one. Because what's worth a lot you just don't necessarily have the space to keep those things. So that is a hard one. But finding someone who would really love it is a good thing. Brenda said, I told my kids I want to give if it's not for them, then it goes. Deborah, we sometimes think our things are so valuable, keep boxes and so on, and they're not worth a penny in the end. Misha, you really can't help someone who won't let go of things. It is so true, and it's hard, but it is true. Carol, do you believe in Jesus? Well, if you're asking me, definitely I believe in Jesus. Oh, my husband's like, do you have a dinner planned? Yeah, okay. The internet bounced, but you're back now. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have scrolled away to answer my husband's text. Oh, man. I'm at work, can't have the volume up, pray all is well. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, I believe in Jesus. Jesus is my savior. I have believed in Christ. My whole life, but I gave my life to him at 11. Didn't even understand what I was doing. Rededicated my life to Jesus when I was 21, and I haven't looked back. So, hey, Karen, what a lovely surprise to see from the UK. God bless. God bless you as well. Terry says, hi, Karen. So good to see you. It's good to see you too. I'm probably going to have to get off this live because I need to go help my husband figure out dinner. He's like, do you have a dinner plan? I'm like, nope, I don't. Principessa says, I've been decluttering for almost a year. My house isn't cluttered, but after moving my mom and having to declutter her, I needed to make sure I didn't fall into the same situation. And I think that has really motivated many. Rebecca is asking if I used to have a dog. I thought I had seen one in the background years ago. Yep, I had a dog. His name was Dash, and he was a Shih Tzu. Really, he's a Shih Tzu, but I wouldn't let my kids say Shih Tzu. So I made them say Shih Tzu. So yeah, we had a Shih Tzu. He was my favorite dog in the whole world. He finally got very old and very sickly, and we had to help him up and down the stairs. Honestly, I still felt so guilty. It was definitely his time, 2020. I have pictures of him so sick, but it helps me not to feel guilty because I knew he just was suffering. But I love that dog so much. Emily, when I get stuck, I flip a coin. How I feel about the result lets me know how I actually feel. It helps with the dinner plans too. So she's flipping a coin, like heads, I keep it, tails, it goes. And then when you get tails, it goes. Then if you're sad, you weren't ready to get rid of it. Emily, I got that trick from my boyfriend. Oh, I almost thought you were said, I used that trick on my boyfriend. Like he stays, he goes. No. Rebecca, I'm so sorry for your baby. Aw, thanks. Emily, that's cool. Okay. Hi from Canada. That's Jody. My son is 11 and a half and can be attached to many of his possessions because they were gifts. I encourage him that it's okay to let some things go, even if it was a gift. I don't push or force him. That's really good. And again, with kids, I think that, helping them release the guilt and often helping them know that when you're passing it on, you're helping another child who might not be able to have that gift because they can't afford it. Yeah. Emily, I'm glad your boyfriend is there to stay. That's a good thing. Don't flip a coin on your relationships. Oh, goodness. Hi, Anya. Flower Lover says hi. Hi, Flower Lover. I'm so glad you guys could hang out with me today. I hope to have a regular video up for you tomorrow. Definitely, it'll have some cleaning from Yvonne and some things from me. Maybe I'll do my closet. I'd really like to get some Christmas decor up, but I don't know if I'll be able to bring it up to from the basement. It depends on how healthy others in my house are, whether or not they're able to help me. Definitely would appreciate your prayers from my back that it would get better, and then I just need to be kind of careful. Ooh, warm regards from Indonesia. My husband and I used to dream of going to Indonesia. Anyways, I thank you so much, Allie. That was so sweet of you to help out with the moderating because it has never happened before. Happy birthday, Dildo. Oh, that's not funny. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. I'm such an idiot. All right. Report. Yeah, let's report. Unwanted, let's see. Explicit material. Report. There we go. Some people think they're so funny. All right. I hope you know that I love you and God loves you. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. It's hard to say goodbye.